Hello everyone. Let us start with this chapter, Unit 1, Plant Life, the leaf. So, what are we going to learn in this chapter? External structures, that are the parts of the leaf in detail, kinds of leaves, simple and compound, types of venation, reticulate and parallel, functions of leaf, the main functions, modifications like tendrils, spines, scale leaves, insectivorous plants, need for modification with an example, and lastly, vegetative propagation in leaf. For example, bryophyllum. So you see a variety of small and large flowering plants in your surrounding. You can name a few: tulsi, rose, mango. So how are they? Do they have the same height? How are the leaves, flowers? So you see a lot of variations in them and some similarities too. All flowering plants have roots, stem and leaves, and they bear flowers. So here it is written parts plant root system and shoot system. These are the two main parts we are going to study in detail. Let's start with the root system. The underground part of the plant is called as the root. As you already know, you might have seen this. It is its main characteristics are it grows downward into the soil away from the sunlight towards the force of gravity. Now, plants are living things, remember. They understand which way gravity is. Nature has made them to sense the gravity. Hence, they always grow towards the ground, towards the earth. So carefully dig out a small plant like balsam from the soil. Gently wash the portion which was underground with tap water. Take a large size beaker or tumbler containing some water. Keep the plant in it with its underground part submerged in water. Observe the plant carefully and compare its parts. Identify the two main parts, the one which was below the ground, the root system, and one which was above, the shoot system. Children, look at this picture. They have shown us the root system and shoot system. So, what is the function of the root? The root holds the plant into the soil. It helps to absorb water and mineral from the soil. The stem holds the leaves and flowers above the ground. You can see the flower, it's a reproductive organ, produces seeds which germinate and new plants are grown from it. The leaves are the where the food is produced. They absorb the sunlight and use it to make the food. So let's read this. Types of root system. Two types are shown here: tap root system and fibrous root system. Now, what is a tap root system? With the help of diagram, they've shown us. Let us see this diagram carefully. See the tap root system and fibrous root system. So, taproot system has one main root, that is primary root, and other branches. They are secondary roots. Example, the dicot plants like pea, gram. And you can see the fibrous roots. It is a cluster of roots of same thickness arising from the base. This type of root system is in maize, monocot plants. Observe this carefully. See this central main root and then branches, primary root and secondary root. Here you can see fibrous root. They are of equal thickness, nearly equal. So what are the functions? We have already read those functions. First, it fixes the plant in soil. Second, it absorbs water and minerals. Binds the soil together so it doesn't get washed away. So during rain or wind. The shoot system, the second part, let's start reading about it. So it is made up of stem, bud, leaves, flowers and fruits. You already know all these things. You can see it in the picture. See here, node, internode, auxiliary bud, leaf, apical bud. So stem is the main aerial part of the shoot system. The points on the stem from where the leaves and branches originate are called nodes. Okay, so from the part which leaves come out, branches come out, they're called as nodes. And the part between the two successive nodes is internode. You can see it here. Node and internode. Look at this carefully. The tip of the shoot has a bud called a apical bud. Tip means this part, or terminal bud. They are responsible for various growths of the stem. Angle between the upper side of the leaf and the stem is the axil. Buds found here are auxiliary buds. They produce new branches with either leaves or flowers. Now, what are the functions of the stem? First thing, they bear the aerial part. Aerial part means the part which are outside, in the air, above the soil. The buds, leaves, flowers, and fruits. Stem help in the upward movement of water and minerals. So they conduct water and food. So water from down to up and food from top to bottom. Now let's move on. Transport them up to the leaves and flowers. Foods prepared by leaves is conducted downwards. Stem also manufactures some food because it is green and young. Now let's go to the leaf. The flat and green part of the shoot is called as leaf. There is always a bud in the axil of the leaf called as auxiliary bud. Leaves do not grow continuously like stem but stop growing on attaining full size. Let's see the structure of leaf. Look at this picture carefully. Parts of leaf. At the top we have leaf apex, leaf margin, veins, lamina, this whole part, auxiliary bud and petiole. Let's read this. A typical leaf has following parts. Petiole, the basal part of the leaf, that stalk is called as a petiole, attached to the stem. An auxiliary bud is present in the axil of the leaf. Sometimes leaves are directly attached to the stem without a petiole, and that's called as a sessile leaf. So this petiole is absent, then it is called sessile. If petiole is present, that is a normal leaf. Now leaf blade or lamina. The green, flat, broad part is lamina. And outer edge is called leaf margin. Midrib. Petiole continues into the lamina as the midrib. This laterally gives out fine branches called as veins. Petiole, midrib, veins and veinlets further branching out. You can see it here. See the vein, this part, midrib. So they're branching out. Now types of leaf. There are different types of leaf. First is the simple leaf. Its lamina is undivided, single piece like mango, banana, banyan. Marginal incision, if present, do not reach up to the midrib. And compound leaf. Lamina is divided into smaller leaflets. Let us see this example here. You can see a simple leaf of banyan, how it looks, and a compound leaf. Incision is there, midrib. Silk cotton is also shown here. Observe the diagram carefully, this picture carefully. You can understand the difference. Compare them. See the size. See the midrib. These are called as leaflets. Now, let's read ahead. On the basis of shape, we can classify them as needle shape, oval, heart shaped, oblong, circular, and tapering. Examples are written in front of it. Have a look at it. Needle shaped is pine onion, oval is guava apple, heart shaped is people, oblong is banana, and so on. On the basis of margin, it can be complete, toothed, that is serrated margin, wavy margin, and spinous margin. Look at the picture here. It clearly tells you toothed margin, wavy margin, spinous margin. Now, how is the arrangement of leaves? That is called as phyllotaxy, the arrangement of leaves. So if they are alternate, only one leaf arises from each node. The next leaf arises from the successive node in opposite direction. It can be opposite. For example, jasmine guava, where two leaves arise at each node on opposite side, or it can be whorled, more than two leaves attached at one end. You can see alternate, opposite, and world. Looking at the diagram, everything is very clear. They are told us to do this activity. Take a leaf, people leaf, and soak it into vinegar and water for a few days. Change the water every second day. Rub the leaf, the green portion will come out. You'll observe very fine network of veins. Dry it. You can use this leaf to make birthday card for your friend. So see this. It looks beautiful. So venation, arrangement of veins in the lamina, that is called as venation. Two main types are there, reticulate and paralle. Say this again, reticulate and paralle. So two main types of venation are there. Look at the diagram shown here. See the people and banana tree plant. The leaves, they have a particular arrangement. So in reticulate venation, the veins and veinlets are irregularly distributed in lamina, forming a network. Look at the people, net-like. And parallel, they run parallel to each other. Look at the banana leaf. So mainly the dicot shows the reticulate venation and the monocot show the parallel venation. What are the functions of leaf? First thing, leaves are very important because they produce food by the process of photosynthesis. Now, what is the meaning of photosynthesis? The word photo means light and synthesis is combining. You synthesize the food with the help of carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. All green plants have the capability to prepare their own food. They are autotrophic. Auto means self and trophic means nourishment. So what are the things they require? Water, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, and energy. What is a chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is a green colored pigment. It's a color giving substance which helps the plant to manufacture, to make its own food. So the process by which the plant makes its own food in presence of carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, and sunlight is called as a photosynthesis. Look at this diagram. So here sunlight falls on these leaves. That is the light energy. Carbon dioxide goes in, oxygen comes out, water from the roots is sucked up, and this reaction takes place. Carbon dioxide plus water in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight gives glucose and oxygen. Now this is the formula for glucose. Children learn this formula, C6H12O6. Let's read ahead. The significance of photosynthesis. As you know, the plants are the ones which make food for all living organisms. Either we eat the plants directly or we eat animals which eat the plant. So indirectly or directly, we are dependent on green plants for food. So during photosynthesis, they prepare food not only for themselves but everyone. Oxygen is given out as the byproduct which helps all living organisms to breathe. Respiration is the process. Then transpiration. By this process, the water is lost from the leaves, aerial parts, that's for cooling the plant and cooling the environment also. Transpiration is a process by which water is lost in the form of water vapor by evaporation from the surface of the leaves and the other aerial parts of the plant. So plants are continuously absorbing the water and giving it out from their leaves. They need minerals to continuously replenish the cells. That's why they continuously absorb the water. Now, cooling effect. What is the importance of this transpiration? Remember, transpiration is very important. First thing, what it does, it has a cooling effect. So the temperature of the plant reduces. It cools itself if it is very hot outside. So you have experienced that standing under the tree on a hot summer midday gives a cooling effect. It gives us shade as well as the water that is given out by transpiration. Cool air being heavier tends to settle down. As a result, you feel cool when you stand under the tree. Now, transpiration pull. As water continuously evaporates from the leaf, the roots pull up more water from the soil to make up for the water loss. As a result, more important minerals are absorbed, which are required by the plant. So, to demonstrate the water loss, you can do this experiment. You take a potted plant, put a plastic bag around it, and then you can see water droplets. You can really do this experiment. So remove all the leaves, place the plant in sunlight for 4 to 6 hours. You'll notice water droplets have appeared. When no water drops appear in the polythene bag B, this tells us most of the water of the plant is evaporated from its leaves. Sometimes the complete leaf or a part of leaf is modified for special function. So here there are some functions. Leaf tendrils. Look at these pictures. So in case the stem is weak, it gives out some supporting structures. They're called as tendrils, and they support the plant. Here you can see cactus, spines are there, and fleshy scale leaves in onion. So as they are sensitive to touch, the tendrils climb up and they help the stem to grow, get support. Leaves of modified to spines in cactus so that the water loss can be checked. Scale leaves in plants like onion, they are thick. Their function is to store food and protect the buds. Insectivorous plants, the plants which trap insects in one way or the other to meet their nitrogen demand, is called as insectivorous plants. So pitcher plant and Venus flytrap are shown here. So what actually happens? The soil in mountainous region has less nitrogen. Now these plants, Venus flytrap and pitcher plant, they require nitrogen. How are they going to get? So they trap the insects, digest them, eat them, and they get the required nitrogen. Remember. So here they have shown us bladder worth. So size of the pitcher varies from 10 to 20 centimeter. When insects like ants sit on it, it closes the lid. At the bottom, enzymatic juices, so digestive juices are there. They digest it. The soil in these areas is deficient in nitrates. The pitcher plant utilizes the insect's protein by converting it to nitrates. Now, Venus flytrap. The leaves of Venus flytrap have long pointed hair. It is divided into two parts, midrib like hinge. When an insect visits the leaf, it closes into two parts, trap the insects. The insect is then digested by digestive juices. Now, bladderworth. Bladderworth has highly segmented leaves. Some of the segments of these leaves form small bladder-like structures. The bladder has an entry point that can be closed. Now, vegetative propagation. Normally, plants propagate with the help of seeds contained in the fruits. But some new plants also produce vegetatively. Okay? So type of reproduction where seeds are not involved, that is called as vegetative propagation. So here some examples are there. So bryophyllum, the buds on the leaves of margin of the leaves are seen. Plant structure which reproduce vegetatively must be stored, store some food, and the root and shoot grows from them. So leaves of plants such as bryophyllum, begonia produce buds from their margin. When these buds fall into the moist soil, they grow as small plantlets. Okay, so here they are shown as one activity. You can see how the buds fall down and new plants are taking their positions. Thank you very much. Read this chapter carefully and give me comments. Thank you.